and welcome back to Session 4 of Courageous Faith. This is a good time to stop and reflect for a few minutes about the first 3 sessions with your group.
What God has done in these past 3 sessions that you can think and thank God for, and what can make the last half of this series even more meaningful and enjoyable for your group. When you finish watching this video, you might want to jot down a few answers to those questions. Don't forget to take time to enjoy the journey and celebrate what God is doing. And feel free to share those thoughts with your group when they arrive.
This week's focus is on taking initiative. So far, we've learned about how God shapes our expectations and our dreams so that they are aligned with who God is and what He's preparing us to do. In the Bible, James writes that faith that does nothing is worth nothing, and we want to make sure that these big dreams God has awakened inside of us don't just sit on the shelf, but get used. That's what this week's session is all about.
Now, Pastor Dave will cover 4 steps to take when you understand what God is asking of you. 1, obey immediately, obey completely, obey joyfully, and obey continually. Pastor will look at each of these in the life of Joshua and show us how they worked out in his life and how they can work out in ours as well. Please know that obedience can be a touchy subject for many people, since obeying God sometimes means walking away from things that we would consider a core part of who we are, such as unhealthy friendships, environments, hobbies, or even our jobs. Please be sensitive and try to refrain from quick fixes or simplistic answers. Sometimes the best thing that we can do for others when they are struggling is to be present and listen. Remember that your vulnerability will encourage others to be vulnerable as well.
In the Living on Purpose section this week, we will be asking you to take a look at the gifts and abilities God has given you and where you could use these in our church family, out in the community, and in our small groups. Encourage people to share whatever step they are going to take, big or small. God rejoices when we take any step in the right direction. If someone doesn't want to share the specifics of how they are going to use their gifts and abilities, be sure to give grace and allow that person to pass until they feel more comfortable. If you need more ideas on ways you and your group can serve, call your community leader. Your community leader is already praying for you and your group and would love to have a conversation with you. If you misplace their contact information, just touch base with the small groups team. You can email us at info@go2ccc.org.
Finally, don't forget to share and record your prayer requests in the back of your study guide. Praying for one another's needs builds intimacy and compassion, and it's so cool to see how God answers your prayers throughout this study.
And if you have people in your group who are still not comfortable praying out loud, let them know that's okay too. Allow your group to opt out of anything they are not comfortable with yet. And remember that just because someone isn't praying out loud doesn't mean that they are not praying.
And we hope that you're having a great session with your group, and we'll see you next time.